Welcome folks, I'm Jaby Koay, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
Hey there.
And this video came up as a suggestion that I thought could be an interesting reaction. It's a little bit hard to find movie-related stuff to react to lately for obvious reasons. And so, you know, when things like this happen, you start kind of looking out at other stuff, and YouTube does the same thing. What else can we get them to watch? And so this came up as a random suggestion. I'm like, that seems like a fun thing to share. Let's check this out. It's called Hackers Find Missing People for Fun from Freethink, the YouTube channel.
What do you think happened?
I have a father that is missing since 1988 on Father's Day.
Oh, wow.
Every year, hundreds of thousands of people go missing. People like Natalie's father.
The police told us the only thing we can do is report him missing. I was so upset.
There aren't enough resources for the police to find everyone, so people like Natalie are left to search for their missing people on their own. But now, a group called Trace Labs brings together hackers from around the world to use their skills to find real missing people. They've turned it into a game where participants find clues in exchange for points, and it's working to help find them.
That's cool. Everything has this watchdogs look.
One night, my best friend called me and said, "Hey, Natalie, did you hear about Trace Lab? They look for a missing person. It's hackers." I said, "What?" So I wrote an email to Robert Sells. I said, "Can you help me?" And he said, "Yes."
I think because I'm in search and rescue, I get to see things that most people don't. I get to see all the people that go missing, and as I was paying attention to that, I noticed that there's a lot of people that go missing that we never look for. I always wondered who's looking for those people if I'm not. And sometimes nobody.
Sad.
The person behind Trace Labs is Rob Sell. He's a tracker for search and rescue and a computer security professional.
Trace Labs became really a blending of those two passions.
As a tracker, Rob looks for little clues and details that paint a bigger picture about a person's direction of travel, their speed, or state of mind. Trace Labs takes the same approach to online searching. Finding little details about a person's online activity can add up and help lead investigators to their current location.
We're addressing all those people that go missing that nobody's looking for right now.
Rob started Trace Labs as a way to educate people and get them involved in the process of open source intelligence gathering, or OSINT.
When you go to a typical conference, security conference, there's so many different things you can do. You can learn how to hack a car, how to hack a voting machine. Whatever you want to do is there. Yet that effort is wasted in a way because it's not used for anything else. What we do is we take all that effort and we put it into something that's actually going to benefit society.
Morning. How you doing? Not bad. Rob Sell. Nice to meet you, Chris.
Rob organizes events like this Capture the Flag game, where participants use OSINT techniques to collect data that could be used to help find missing people.
So open source intelligence, it's information that you would find online on the subject.
As participants gather useful information, they're awarded points towards winning prizes. Even seemingly trivial data can be important in tracking someone down.
Quite often we'll see a person will get put into human trafficking. So we'll look for their picture because usually we can see their tattoo or some sort of sign on their body where we can identify them. Contestants that come in will say, "Wait a minute, are these real missing people?" And you can see their mind change. It's like, wow, we're actually changing people's lives.
For this event, Rob has brought together numerous hackers and security professionals, all working to find whatever data they can about these missing people.
We collect information on those missing persons and then give that to law enforcement to help them to locate those missing persons.
Natalie's father is listed among several other missing people the contestants are looking for. He's been missing for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So those are going to be tough, and you may get very little information on them at the end of the day. But I think any little bit that we get that we can submit to law enforcement could help. So when you think of your digital footprint being out there, there's a concern there sometimes, but in this case, we're using it to actually locate those people. So the more we have of you digitally, the better off we are in some ways, right?
People are actually helping out
while they're having fun, right? Although it's a serious issue, but it's a great initiative.
Yeah.
In the years since Rob started Trace Labs, they've provided law enforcement with data on dozens of cases, even information about the current whereabouts of people.
What these people here are doing today is really helping law enforcement to locate those people. And that's something the families can really appreciate.
After 2 days, the team finds no new information on Natalie's father. But groups like Trace Labs mean you don't have to search on your own. He's still listed, and contestants are still looking for any data they can find. Sharing that burden, for even a day or two, can make all the difference in the world.
We've gamified something very serious, which on the face of it doesn't sound good, but it was the only way for us to achieve our objective of crowdsourcing hundreds of people and bringing them in for that focused effort to locate that child or elderly person or whoever it might be. Anywhere I can push that envelope and allow us to do better, I feel pretty good about that. So hopefully this inspires people to do that.
Just to know that Trace Lab, stranger, they would do research for my father, I was touched. I don't think I'm gonna stop looking for him. I will never stop.
I was really hoping that
I was hoping that the story would be that. And then at the end of the 2 days, they found some information beyond, like, it's basically impossible, but they found him and now she's reunited and I'm like, I'm sad now because he's not there.
I mean, it leaves that lingering, more to be desired kind of thing. But I think it's just cool that a company like that exists at all.
Yeah.
That they have gamified this endeavor, because that does make it more enticing, I think, for... Gaming is obviously a huge industry.
Yeah.
Why not leverage that towards some kind of good? I mean, the only good that has come of it, I think, is that we're making soldiers. It's being used to train military people. Like, there's a lot of games that are used towards that end. I don't even know if the U.S. Army is sponsoring any sort of particular kinds of games to be created, but I'm sure there's some kind of overlap in there. But might as well use that same sort of idea towards locating missing people and reuniting lost brothers, sisters, moms, fathers, daughters, sons, all all that stuff. I mean, that's a great idea. That's just dope. That makes me happy to hear about that. That's one of those things where it restores your faith in humanity. And what's so cool about this is that, like he was saying, you don't actually have to be in the same room. It's like, MMORPG.
Yeah.
You can literally just do this from anywhere in the world, as long as, that's just nice that you can access a network of people that's just huge like that, and they're doing it competitively. They're incentivized to do these things for you. It's not just a job.
A lot of people are concerned nowadays about, like, my digital footprint, I don't want. And I understand that. You don't want people spying on you, but on the other hand, it can also be helpful in locating you if you're ever lost.
Sure.
Or
I mean, that's a slippery slope. You gotta be careful with that, but yeah.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
It is. It's kind of like, okay, it sucks that it's so easy to kind of locate me and find where I am if I ever wanted to go off the grid or whatever. But if you're using it for good and helping find missing people who've been kidnapped or trafficked, that's also a good thing,
Yeah. After this, we're gonna go get RF chipped. So
you may find us always.
That was a whole thing back in the day. There was this video called Zeitgeist, and there was a follow-up video also called Zeitgeist, and I dove into those videos pretty hard. The first video was talking about how the truth about Jesus and like the truth about the government and all this conspiracy stuff. The overarching idea was like, these are the things that the government's trying to do and here's what we should be doing. And there's a lot of stuff in there that's like fluffy. It's just like, you gotta fact check that, and it's like 3-hour long videos, but it's compelling, it's interesting to watch. You just get sucked in like a rabbit hole, like a Google rabbit hole. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where you just go from one thing to the next.
you just like keep looking up articles and you're like, what is the validity of this? Is this true? Like,
well, I mean, but what all I'm saying is like, that's what the videos feel like, where you just get sucked down a rabbit hole, or a Wikipedia rabbit hole. Click one through the next. The thing they talk about is RF chips and whatnot, and like you being able to be tracked anywhere.
Yes.
It's a double-edged sword. Going back to this video, you can't be helped that you have some kind of a digital footprint. It's virtually impossible to not have one at all, I think, these days, because everything has to be done through the internet. You call up for some kind of help, like I did. I was calling up Barclays, and they're like, yeah, just go to our web portal. It's like, that's not what I want. I want a person. So everything is through the web now. You can't help having a digital footprint of some kind. While it's annoying that it's kind of forced upon us, there is that silver lining of, well, maybe it can be used, like you said, to locate you someday.
Yeah.
If you ever go missing.
Although I did feel that because Natalie's father, he disappeared like 32 years ago or something, probably the likelihood of finding him digitally, it's less likely because of just that time period, you know? I want to be optimistic, but maybe, because a lot of the time with missing people's cases, they actually are deceased.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, maybe he's
I thought that's what they were gonna find out.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Anyways, that was interesting. A little bit dissatisfying. And so now you can be dissatisfied with us, and that's why this video is on the internet. So you guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Check out ACHARA KIRK on the social media, as well as the Jabs if you feel like doing that. We're on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe if you haven't already, please. And hit that bell icon, all notifications. That would mean a lot. I am Jaby Koay. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.